Are we now at a point where our international alliances are turning east instead of west? If that's not the intention, it may well be the outcome. And what do we make of the Minister's comments that Indigenous values and the Treaty of Waitangi would be woven into foreign policy decision making? I've got to ask the question, where are these bloody clowns coming from? Muriel Newman added to that comment, the splintering of New Zealand from Five Eyes on the question of how to address China is a sad consequence of Beijing's enduring strategy to coerce and undermine the vital partnerships between the liberal democratic states. It is appropriate we debate this in the wake of Anzac Day because Five Eyes is a key pillar to the security of the liberal order that countries such as Australia and New Zealand fought to establish during World War I and World War II. For this reason, it is a top target for China. And that was written by Dr. William A. Stoltz. And can you get it through to these dimwits down in Wellington, these ones who are swinging on the red maypole and who would prefer to see New Zealand flying the red flag than the New Zealand flag of which our forebears fought for? We have these clowns down in Wellington who are living by an ideology that's not your ideology or my ideology. It may be of that of the little wet behind the ears nincompoops that are now coming out of university who are being brainwashed by within the halls of academia. They may believe in all this crap, but I tell you what, those who actually fought for this country, those who actually worked so hard for this country, they don't believe a bloody word of it. And the sooner we get rid of these pack of mugs, these people living on an ideology and their new religion, the better for all of us, and certainly better for the future of New Zealand. Last week, in an address to the New Zealand-China Council, Labour's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nanaia Mahuta, outlined the Prime Minister's stance on foreign policy. Now remember, this is the slip of a bird that we call the Prime Minister, and this is this whatever this thing is, what's her name, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, she is hiding behind the name of Jacinda Ardern, the one who refers to one as comrade. This is what she is saying is Jacinda Ardern's policy and future. Her extraordinary speech began, "This is not just a gathering of people. This is a spiritual gathering of cultures, of values, and of traditions born before us, designed to allow us to unite. I invoke the inspiration and guidance of the universe and the gods. I bestow a life force upon this gathering." Where the hell did this bloody crap come from? China must be, the leaders must be rolling around their offices absolutely pissing themselves laughing at this sort of bloody crap. She continued, "My intention with the speech is to outline what New Zealand's contemporary relationship with China looks and feels like. When I think about this relationship, I liken to the respect of the Taniwha would have for a dragon." Goodness me. Anyone would think we're one of New Zealand classrooms with one of those clowns called a teacher teaching the history of New Zealand. The Taniwha would have such respect for the dragon? What's all this nonsense about? As well as telling us to revere Maori mysticism and respect the values of a brutal communist dictatorship, The minister used her speech to confirm Labour is not only pursuing an independent foreign policy, but intends embedding Indigenous values and the Treaty of Waitangi into foreign policy. I believe our foreign policy setting can be enhanced by Te Tiriti. The principles of partnership, active participation and protection can be called upon to enable equity and kino rangata. Increasingly, these principles continue to shape the type of democracy. Aotearoa New Zealand, here we go, Aotearoa New Zealand is becoming confident in our bicultural foundation and determined to pursue our interests for those call this land home, and for those who share our values of openness, transparency, democracy, and the rule of law. While I've never read so much crap in my life, when I heard that speech I couldn't believe my ears. And then they say that the security of this country, I would say folks that if this crowd does any more damage to our foreign affairs and to the straight-out administration of this country, I think it's time for us to pack up and go to Australia. This is what the bright people did in Germany when they started playing around all this sort of stuff. They left and got the hell out of Germany, and this is where we're heading right now. You might say that I'm a fearmonger. Go and read bloody history, for goodness sake, and compare the nonsense, the absolute bloody nonsense that's coming out of Wellington and that nonsense that came out of the Foreign Affairs mouth, which was fed her from the Prime Minister's office. We are living in terrible times at the moment. People have turned their back on God. They're living now by straight out some sort of strange fairy tale existence, and they want us now to worship the Taniwha and the Chinese dragon. Well, I'm not, and I refuse to, and I will refuse to have any more respect for that pack of wankers that we call our government. I think they are a disgrace, and as I've said before, I think they're walking the path of evil outcome.